Hello everyone, I Professor Pardeshi AR. Today we are discuss the topic sewage treatment. That is the second unit of environmental engineering second BE civil. In first unit we already learned that the characteristics of the sewage, quality of the sewage and stream sanitation. By knowing the quality and the characteristics of the sewage, sewage is ready to transfer for the treatment unit. In second chapter, we are going to discuss the different treatment units which are useful for the treat the sewage before it discharge into the natural stream. So let us discuss what are the different contents in a second chapter. So first one is nothing but the pollution due to the improper disposal of the sewage. Second, introduction to sewage treatment. Next, preliminary, primary, secondary and tertiary treatment units. Next, unit operation and process flow diagram for the sewage treatment and theory and design of the screen chamber, and last one, grid chamber and primary sedimentation tank as per the manual of Central Public Health Engineering and Environmental Engineering Organization. So let us discuss the one by one. So in that first one, pollution due to the improper disposal of the sewage. Okay, it is very important to treat the sewage before it discharge into a natural stream. When we are treat the sewage, then it become essential for the aquatic life as well as all living organisms. Okay, it is very essential to reduce the sewage content, that is the solid matter from the sewage. It is also useful for the to remove the nuisance which causing the matter or element, that is the it reduce the fly nuisance or breeding of mosquito. Okay, and it will kill the pathogenic organisms which causes the diseases or waterborne diseases by using the proper treatment to the sewage. It is also useful to remove the organic substance like grit, sand, pebbles or heavy matters which is present in the sewage. Okay, that's why it is very important to treat the sewage before it discharge into the natural stream. If it is not occurs properly, then the dissolved oxygen from the sewage reduces because of the bacteria which is utilize that dissolved oxygen to decompose the organic matter which is present in that sewage. So these are the importance of the sewage we have to treat before it discharge into the natural system. Okay, the various type of sewage like industrial sewage, domestic sewage, agricultural sewage. So this sewage can be treated before it discharge. Different methods like preliminary, primary, secondary or tertiary methods are used to treat that sewage. Depending upon its quality and characteristics, the suitable method is adopted for the treatment of that particular sewage. The inorganic matter like pebbles, grit, sand, silt which are present in the sewage, and we have to remove that inorganic matter by applying or adopting suitable treatment method. The different types of pollution occurs due to the improper disposal of the sewage. In that first one is nothing but the air pollution and the land pollution. Water pollution is the major part which causes the improper disposal of the sewage into the natural stream. Okay, if the sewage, untreated sewage is discharged into the natural stream, then the water quality goes on decreasing and water becomes non-potable, and this water become polluted, and it cannot, in that the aquatic life cannot be survived. This water pollution can be caused by the natural causes due to the precipitation, decay of vegetation, animal debris, soil matrix, etc. And due to the man-made sources like rapid industrialization is there, uncontrolled use of fertilization or pesticides is there. That's why the air or water pollution occurs. so that we have to treat the sewage before it discharge into the natural stream. Okay, this chart shows the type of treatment and which type of unit utilized for the removing of the organic matter or impurities from the sewage and type of impurity which is removed. Okay, in that first one is nothing but the physical treatment. For that we are using the units like suspended and floating matters from the sewage. Second one is nothing but the grit chamber, which is helpful for the removing grit pebbles from the sewage. And last one is nothing but the clarifier, which are used to remove silt, sand or other heavier impurities from the sewage. Second treatment is given to the nothing but the chemical treatment. Okay, for that we can use the chemical reactors to remove the dissolved chemicals from the sewage. Next one is nothing but the biological treatment, in which we are using the units like a trickling filters, activated sludge plant, that is ASP, rotating biological contractors and digester, which is helpful for the removing the dissolved organic chemicals from the sewage before it discharge into the natural stream. Next point is nothing but to introduction to the sewage treatment. Okay, the classification of the sewage treatment is as below. In that, first one is nothing but the preliminary treatment. In that, the units are used like screening, which is useful for the removing floating matter like eggshell, plastics, bottles, streaks, etc. Then next one is nothing but the grit chamber, which is useful for the removing grit from the sewage and heavier matter which is present in the sewage like silt, sand or pebbles is there. Next one is nothing but the skimming tank. Okay, that is the thin layer which is formed on the surface of the sewage and which can be removed in a skimming tank. This is the preliminary treatment of the sewage. Second treatment is nothing but the primary treatment, that means the sedimentation. Okay, in sedimentation there is two types of sedimentation. First one is nothing but the plain sedimentation. In plain sedimentation, the organic matter or a heavy matter which is get settled down at the bottom of the settling tank due to the heavy weight and under the action of the gravity. But second one is nothing but the sedimentation with coagulation. In this, the small particles which having the lighter weight, these particles are always in a suspension motion, but these particles are not settled down at the bottom of the settling tank. But the coagulant like alum is added into this, which due to which these particles are attract to each other and become a heavy mass, and they are getting settled down at the bottom of the settling tank. This is the cement coagulation. Third treatment unit is nothing but the secondary treatment, which is consist of totally biological process and secondary settling. Okay, in which the conventional treatment process are used. The conventional treatment like activated sludge process, that is ASP, can be utilized, or the trickling filters are used. Second one is nothing but the low cost method, in which we can utilize the oxidation ditch or oxidation pond. Next one is nothing but the aerated lagoons are used, or waste stabilization ponds are there to remove the biology. And last one is nothing but the tertiary treatment, which consists of the disposal of treated sewage. This is the treatment for the sewage we can utilize or adopt for the suitable type of sewage by knowing its characteristics and quality. Okay, this is the flow diagram for the sewage treatment plant, in which the raw sewage from the any industry or any region, it's collected and it is passed through the bar screen. That is in a preliminary stage. It is from the bar screen and passed through the grit chamber. In a bar screen, it can remove the floating matters like eggshells, sticks, plastics, etc. And in a grit chamber, we can remove the heavy matters from the sewage like pebbles, silt, sand, etc. This is the preliminary stage of the STP. from which this sewage is passed through the primary clarifier, that is the primary stage of the STP. Then it is some sewage is passed to the sewage sludge digestion tank and some sewage is passed to the aeration tank. From aeration tank, the secondary stage is start, that is called as activated sludge process. In activated sludge process, due to the aeration, bacteria get active and more decomposition of the organic matter take place in a sewage. From aeration tank, this sewage is passed through the secondary clarifier, and from the secondary clarifier, some sewage is passed again to the aeration tank, which is behave like a seeding of the sewage, and remaining sewage is passed to the sludge digestion and for the tertiary filter. And in tertiary filter, this sewage is passed again for the disinfection zone for the final disposal of the sewage. This is the complete flow diagram for the sewage treatment plant. Okay, next point is nothing but the screening. Okay, diagram shows the bar screening. Bars are used to remove the floating matter from the sewage. Types of screening are depending upon its size. Core screen, when the opening size is above 80 mm. When the size of opening is above the 80 mm, then it is called as coarse screen. When the opening between the bars is 20 to 50 mm, then it is called as medium screen. And when the opening is less than the 20 mm between the bars, then it is called as a fine screen. Okay. Then based on its shape, the screen can be classified as the disc-like, drum-like or band-like screening. And last one, this is nothing but based on the mode of the operation, it can be operated manually as well as mechanically. This is the type of the screening. Some factors which are considered while the designing of the screening, in which first one is nothing but its detention period, that is equal to the 0. That means the flow is continuous while the operating screening. Okay. There is no stagnant water in a screening. Second factor is nothing but the velocity should be kept constant. That means the velocity of the flow of sewage, it should be 1 meter per second. Third factor is considered is nothing but the slope or gradient of the screen is between 30 to 60 degree. And last one is nothing but the maximum depth is kept about 1 meter. These are the factors which are considered while the designing of the screen. That's it for today. Next part will continue in a next lecture.